The Juksei derby is back at Ellis Park this week. Both the teams have been selected. They are stacked. They are absolutely stacked. The last time these teams played against each other at Loftus, the Lions got a massive win against the Bulls. Some incredible performances from the likes of Akeli and Peku and some other players from the Lions squad. But can they redo that? Can they get another win against the Bulls team? Against the Bulls team, which is looking really strong right now and are finally clicking a bit. Two big away wins for the Bulls in the last 2 weeks. This will probably be a bit more like a home game compared to those other two games for the Bulls. They'll have a lot of home support here, a lot of away support, but it might feel like a home game. I mean, Johannesburg and Pretoria are so close to each other. But before we get into the teams, guys, if you do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like, subscribe to help the channel grow. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers probably in February. We're going to push for it. So if you guys do like the content, please don't forget to subscribe to help the channel grow. Alright, let's get right into it. So the Bulls have gone for a very strong team here. Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Johan Grobler, Volkulo, Ruan Vermaak, Reinhard Ludwig, Marcel Coetzee as captain, Elrich Lowe, Jean-Andre Rudolph, Ambrose Papier at scrum off alongside Andre Pollard, Curtly Orense, Harold Foster, Stedman Gans at 13, Stravino Jacobs at 14, Devin Williams at 15, Marco van Staden at number 16, again, Alaluto Chakweni at number 17, Mone Smith at number 18, Kobus Visa number 19, Mpilo Gumede number 20, Nizam Carr 21, 22 Keegan Johannes, and 23 David Creel. That's a very strong squad for the Bulls, and I really like the makeup of the squad. I mean, giving some guys that have been performing well another chance. I mean, Jan-Hendrik Wessels has been so good so far this season, especially the last few weeks. He's been one of the standout guys for me. Johan Grobler, obviously, I think Akad van der Merwe is battling a bit of an injury. I think he would either be starting on the bench, obviously, at hooker. He's been phenomenal this year. So Johan Grobler has he needs a bit of a wake-up call. I think the last few weeks he's been good, but his lineouts have just not been the best. But obviously the conditions up north in winter are very tough, especially for those key positions like scrum half and hooker, where you need to get the ball clean, good ball, good lineout throws, good balls to the fly-off, good balls to the back line. It's tough in those conditions. Volkulo has been really good in the scrums this year. They're going to look to get a lot of scrum dominance against the Lions, but the Lions don't have a weak scrum. A lot of people think just because there's not a lot of Springboks in their team that they have a weak scrum. They actually have a very strong forward pack, but we're going to get into that after this. Good to see Elrich Lowe back in the starting lineup. Marcel Coetzee captaining the side. I think he is the perfect guy to captain this team this year. It seems like the players are really clicking around him, and he's really getting the best out of the players around him. And he always seems to just step it up a notch every time he plays in the Bulls jersey, especially as captain. Jean-Andre Rudolph at number 8. Expected. I mean, he's the informed guy right now. Is he going to get a Springbok cap this year? I mean, the way he's playing right now, it looks like he could maybe get a few Springbok caps this year. Maybe off the bench, maybe against some weaker teams. But he definitely deserves a call-up. I'm happy to see Ambrose Papier back. I think he is such a good player. And if he can just play to his potential, I think, honestly, he could be a surprise call-up for the Springboks. And I think after 2027, we'll see a lot more of Ambrose Papier in the green and gold, whether it's from the bench or as a third option. I don't know. But can you imagine a Grant Williams and an Ambrose Papier next to each other? That would be cinema. Curtly Orense at number 11. It's good to see him there. Number 13, Stedman Gans. I am so happy to see Stedman Gans there for the Bulls. I think he's one player. He just doesn't seem like he has an attitude at all. He just plays for the team. He plays such good rugby, and he's a guy that can really change a game for a team. I think, was it last year, at the beginning of the season, he was a guy people were talking about to get called up for the Springboks because he was playing so well. And unfortunately, he got a bit of a bad knee injury, I think it was, or injury to one of his lower limbs, and yeah, he's been out for a while now. But Stedman Gans is a phenomenal player, and I'm really happy to see him back against a guy, Harold Foster, who's been quite solid the last few weeks. So it's a rewarding form and giving a guy who's maybe been training very well a good chance. Number 14, Stravino Jacobs. I think Cheswell Joost is battling a bit of an injury right now, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe he's got under 20 duties. I'm not too sure. I'll have to do a bit of deep diving into that one, but either way, I can't wait to see him play again. But Stravino Jacobs is a perfect guy to replace him. He's such a good player, and I think number 14 for Stravino Jacobs makes a lot of sense. He's more of a defensive, physical wing, and I think number 14 suits him more for that. Number 15, Devin Williams, a guy who he's been a really good signing for the Bulls in recent seasons, and I think he will make a big impact this game, definitely. Billy LaRue hasn't been playing bad the last few weeks, so I think he's been quite smart with his kicking game, and I've really been enjoying how he's been playing the last 2 wins for the Bulls. But I mean, Devin Williams is a guy you can't complain about when he's in your team. The reserve front row for the Bulls, Van Staden probably won't come on as a hooker. I think Jan-Hendrik Wessels will probably move to the hooker position later in the game like he's been doing, and his throws have been actually really impressive. Aluluto Chakwani and Morne Smith have been really solid for the Bulls, and then Kobus Wessa and Pilo Gomede and Nizam Kar are three guys you don't want to see come on against you in the second half. I mean, and Pilo Gomede, just a special shout out. I've known him for a while now, played against him in high school. I've known him for a long time, and he is one guy I'm so happy to see at this level performing now. And I'm so glad he's getting a chance because he can be up there with the likes of a Chichuka, Pepsi Buthelezi, Paul de Villiers if he just gets a chance. And he's such a bruising forward. I mean, he's still only 25 years old, so he's not an old guy either. He's like entering his prime now. He's just in his prime, and he is physical, and he's been really good for the Bulls in the last 2 weeks. And one thing that he does add to this Bulls team is a very good line-out option, as well as just a good carrying option. And his more defense and more offense is really good and very underestimated. Nizam Kar has been great for the Bulls. He's a guy that the whole squad seems to love. Then Keegan Johannes, I'm glad to see him there. Will he come on at fly half? Will he come on at fullback? Will he come on at scrum half? You never know with a guy like him. He's a great player. He can play all over the park. I'm really happy to see him there. David Creel at number 23 as well. Solid team for the Bulls. Very solid team. Now moving on to the Lions. They've gone for SJ Kotze, PJ Buerta, Asanate Tlabakanye, Ruben Skuman, Reinhard Notagel, Jared Collins, Batotle Kani, Frankie Horn, Mone van der Berg, Chris Smith, Richard Creel, Bronson Mills at number 12, Henke van Wyk alongside him, Angelo Davids on the wing, Kewan Horn at fullback. On the bench, they've gone for the rapid Morne Brandon, Arif Skuman, Conrad van Vieren, Etienne Oosthuizen, Darren Landsberg, Renzo Duplessis, Hashim Pede, and Erich Cronier. So both teams have gone for a 6-2 split, which is pretty much expected for these SA derbies, especially a Juksei derby. I mean, it's going to be physical. But what people underestimate is how tired these players can get. I mean, the last time the Lions played the Bulls at Loftus, it was a really running game of rugby. I mean, I can't even remember the meters made in that game, but there were just clean breaks everywhere. So the players were absolutely fried by half time. So if it's anything like that, then it's probably good that they're going for a 6-2 split. I mean, these games, yes, they have a traditional brand of being physical and tightly contested, but these games can really open up and become a massive game of running rugby. And I think this Lions team is perfectly suited for that. I mean, some key figures there. Asanate Tlabakanye is going to have a big day in the office trying to go against Jan-Hendrik Wessels. SJ Kotze, PJ Buerta trying to hold that Bulls front row. It's going to be tough for them. But the thing with this Lions team, they might not have a lot of Springboks, but they are starting to get more Springboks. And also, I've been saying it a lot, Bowen Fenter coming to the Lions is a great signing for them. But they don't have a lot of Springboks, but they've got a lot of junior Springboks that are trying to make their way into the Springbok team, or guys that are just on the edge of being Springboks and really good young players. I mean, if you think of the likes of a Henku van Wyk, he's been spoken about as a future Springbok starter for a while now. Think of Kewan Horn, he's one of the quality fullbacks in the country right now. Chris Smith, he played for the Bulls, he knows the Bulls in and out. He's a really good player. Morne van der Berg's had a few caps for the Springboks in the last few years. Renzo Duplessis, one of the players of the Currie Cup for the Lions. Hashim Pede, a phenomenal player who can change a game and even scored the match-winning try against the Lions. So they've got some really good players here. I mean, how can I not mention Batos Lekani and Frankie Horn? Frankie Horn's one of the most mobile forwards in world rugby. He's such an underrated player, and he's a really good captain for this team. He's not even that old either. I think he's the same age as Damian Willemse, maybe even younger. Batos Lekani as well, one of the best junior Springboks we've had in a long time, really trying to stamp his way into the Springbok side. And can you just imagine what this team's going to look like when a guy like Ron Fenter comes back as well? It's going to be incredible to watch his team play. I wonder what they're going to do with selections then, but they've got a good selection problem when that happens. So if I was to choose a combined team between the two teams, also I will give a shout out, they're going to be missing Kelly and Perku, the Lions. He's a phenomenal player, a youngster, really good. I think everybody, if you don't know Kelly and Perku, keep your eyes out for him. He is phenomenal. But Richard Creel's also had a solid season every time he's played. I remember he started off at Zebra, and now he's come over to the Lions, and he's been really good for them. So if I was to choose a combined team between both these squads, I'd go for Jan-Hendrik Wessels at 1, Johan Grobler at 2, Volkulo at 3, 4 I'd go for Ruan Vermaak, 5 I'd go for Reinhard Ludwig, 6 I'd go for Marcel Coetzee, 7 I would go for Elrich Lowe. Look, Elrich Lowe is the sheriff. He's a Springbok player. He's played against the All Blacks. He's had massive performances at international level. Batos Lekani's time will come, but I still think Elrich Lowe is just a step above right now. At number 8, I'll go Jean-Andre Rudolph. Before the season, I would have gone Frankie Horn, but based on his form, I'd go Jean-Andre Rudolph. Number 9, I'll give the Lions a play. I'll go Morne van der Berg, even though I really like Embrus Papid. Number 10, I'll go Andre Pollard. Number 11, I'll go Kurtley Arendse. Number 12, I would go Harold Foster. Number 13, I'd go Henku van Wyk. Number 14, I'd go Stravino Jacobs. And number 15, I'd go Kewan Horn. On the bench, I would go for Marco van Staden. I would go for RF Skuman. And then I'd go for Mornay Smith. And then I would also go for, on the bench, I'd go for Kobus Visa, Mpilo Gumede, Nizam Kar, but then I'd go for Hashim Peed, and I'd go for David Creel, number 23. So as you can see, if I had to choose a combined team just based off the team sheets, remember, at the end of the day, the South African derbies, whoever you put out, it doesn't really matter. It's how they perform on the day. We saw last week a very strong Stormers side get absolutely dismantled by a very informed Sharks team that didn't seem like they were the informed team before that game, but now looking at it, they probably are the informed team. So, I mean, this Lions team has beaten the Bulls at Loftus this year. I do think this is a change at a Bulls team now. The mentality shift. The guys are playing for each other. They're kind of understanding how they want to play. They're playing winning rugby. And once you start winning games, it becomes a bit of a, you don't know how to lose games anymore, which is a very good thing. And if this Bulls team can get into that mindset and just even scrape out tough wins, then they're going to be tough to beat. So, as you can see, there's a lot of Bulls players in this combined team, but it's only the team sheet. Anything can happen on the day. But my prediction, I'll have to go with the currently informed Bulls team. I think the Bulls are going to win. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to say by 8 points. I don't even know why I give points. It's always off. But I think the Bulls are going to win this game. I think things are clicking for them. They've got a very strong team on paper, but this Lions team's no joke, and I think it's going to be tough to beat them as well. So I do think it's going to be a close game. I do think it's going to be more of a running rugby type of game than people think. I think it's going to be quite an open game. Ellis Park, players are going to get tired, especially the Bulls players coming back from the Northern Hemisphere to the Southern Hemisphere. So that could also be a factor in the game. But yeah, I think the Bulls are going to win this game, but I think it's going to be an absolutely spectacular Juksei derby. I'll be doing a full-time reaction right after to see if we were right, to see what happened, to talk about some of the talking points, some of the outstanding performances. And yeah, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.